Hello everyone, welcome to the Raquel and Nathan YouTube channel. I'm currently in my bedroom, but I'm about to get in the car and head to the garage to crack on with the hardtop. Now today, it's currently Friday, so I've got my dad for today, and then he's going to come home and I'm going to stay up there for the weekend and absolutely get this build done and out the way. So in the next upcoming 1 or 2 weeks, you will actually see the final product of the hardtop. But today I'm going to try and get the windows in and see if I can get the back door on as well. So it should be quite interesting. I'll see you when I get there. So I've got my dad being behind the camera, like a child he is. So I've got this red rubber grease which will be massaging into the seal to help aiding the glass in. Also we've got a technique of string, so you line this with string. And then once you get the glass near, you pull it and it opens the seal and it seals all the way around the glass. It sounds too easy, but we're going to see how easy it really is. And we've also got this strong adhesive. This is a sealant, which we're going to put the actual seal to the body of the shell on with. So that's going to attach the seal to the body. So let's crack on. As you see, this is the back door, and the door had 2 latches in it which I need to reinstall, and the wire feeds from each end, from the latch to the handle, and there's one on each side, and then the handle basically gets hold of the wire, and as you twist it, it pulls the wire both ways and opens each latch. So I'm just going to reinstall these and grease them up really nicely, make sure that they work perfectly. And I've also got the heat treated bolts. I heat treated all of these, so they're nice and black. So I'm just going to reinstall this real quick, and then we should be able to get the back door ready to go on the car. See, come on, out of my way, come on. You gonna let me install these or what? Hey? Okay, so we've done the front window, and now I'm moving on to the rear door. So you can see I've got this seal on here. I'm going to put this sealant inside the seal. I've just put it on just to make sure I've got it around the right way, because I don't want to fill it with this really horrible gluey side type thing and then get it the wrong way and get it all over myself. So it's messy enough as it is. So I'm going to take it off, feed a very thin bead of this stuff inside the seal like we did on the front window, and we'll see how it goes. Ready? Okay, I think I could have a problem with the cat right now. She wants to attack my seal, which isn't ideal. Bro, I'm rhyming so many times today. Okay, so in case any of you don't know, this is not our cat, but basically our cat. We call her Puss, and she just loves being in with us here. She lives near the garage, somewhere around the corner, but she's always loafing around here, so we let her in during the day and she just comes and says hello. It's really nice, isn't it, Puss? Hey? Okay, so I'm going to keep this nearby because I'll be doing the side windows relatively soon. There's 2 screws on each end of this seal, one down here and one down here, which I will need to secure. And I'm going to re-drill 2 holes here and cover them in this sealant to make sure that it's nice and secure and it looks relatively neat, because at the moment this does look really, really bad. Okay, now our next job is to install these powder coated brackets that I did. Now these go on here, and I'm also going to try and push the seal down enough to pinch it with, but I'm not sure whether it's going to be possible, but I shall give it a go. And on the other side I've just got some washers. These are stainless steel so they don't rust, and they'll go on the other side just to make a nice finish, so I'll get those on now. And there we go. Now that's secure. I'll let the thread locker dry for a bit. Well, it will be dry by the time I finish this. I'll do the other side, and then we will start installing the roof bars. Okay, so now I'm going to install the roof bars. These just basically bolt in from the underside. but I'm going to put some of this sealant around here to make sure that I don't get any leaks through the roof, because I want this to be 100% watertight. So I'm just going to go around the edge with a sort of thin row of this sealant. Okay, so the other side's exactly the same procedure, so I'll see you when that's done. Okay, so the next job is the spoiler. Now the spoiler is going to be really difficult because I filled in the holes that were originally there because the spoiler was only mounted with like 2 of its 6 screw locations. It had been done really badly and it wasn't secure at all. So I filled in the holes and I thought I'd start fresh, just mount it myself. So what I'm going to do is line it up, get it perfectly measured and lined up, and then I'll just pilot hole some drills and use some self-tapping ones to go through there. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to do lots of prep on this one, make sure that I get it perfectly straight, because if the spoiler's slightly wonky, that'll annoy me forevermore. So I'm going to time lapse it and we will see how this goes. Okay, so I've run into a little bit of a problem on this hole right here. All the screws I'm putting in just aren't threading, and I've gone up to the biggest size I possibly can. So I've got this, in fact I'll show you. So I've got this stuff here, it's called Patex, and basically it's like Play-Doh, and you can manipulate it and put it into different positions. So I thought, I'll give this a shot, putting this in the hole, letting it dry, because it says it can be screwed into and everything. So it says it's strong enough. We will see, but I'm going to put this in the hole and fingers crossed it will be strong enough once it's dry to get that self-tapping screw in there. Okay, now the handle for the back door was originally silver, but I don't want it to be silver anymore, so I have spray painted it black and clear coated it. I did that this morning. So what I'm going to do is just use all the old parts here to rebuild the lock and put it back together. So I will time lapse that now and we'll see how it looks when it goes back onto the rear door. Okay, so I've spent the last couple of hours actually cleaning up the inside of the rear door, and I finally have the door working. The latch works, you can hear that. Both ends open and close. So I was going to wait for my dad to get back for me to put the rear door on, but I'm going to give it a try. If I can't, if it's too heavy and too fiddly, because I have to put 4 bolts in whilst holding a door. If it's too difficult, then I will wait for him, but for the time being I'm going to give it a try, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so the first problem here is that these bolts, the threads are actually too long, so I'm going to have to cut these down with the angle grinder. Okay, so they're both cut. Now what I'm going to do is try and install it again. I'll put some thread locker in the bolts and then we should be ready to roll. Okay, so I've just crushed my hand inside the hinge there, but it was totally worth it because it's in place. Now I'm going to lift this up, fingers crossed that it keeps it in place itself. And now I'm going to use my lovely skilled fingering to put these bad boys on, just finger tight to keep the door on. So it's now the next day and you join me at the back of the top box. I was fiddling last night till like 10 PM with this back door, with different size washers and things to try and get it to perfectly line up with the hinges, because beforehand it wasn't lining up correctly and it used to sit at an angle. There's the cap. But I've got it all lined up and it works. It opens, watch your head, Cap, watch your head, and it closes. So I'm very happy with that. Next job is the spoiler. Do you think we can do the spoiler? Okay, so I'm hoping this Patex stuff has turned into basically a cement type substance, because I do need to drill into it. 2 of the holes here are filled with this stuff. So now I'm going to line the spoiler up and then we will see if I can screw it in. Okay, so one screw here didn't thread in very nicely. It wasn't gripping properly, but it was too late. I'd already put the glue on, so the glue is being held down now, and that'll be plenty to hold it on. The other 4 along here are fine. It's just this one right here, but I shouldn't have a problem with it. It should hold itself in quite nicely. So now that that's on, the next job is the side windows, and then we're done. So I'm going to have to start tinting these. I did order some new black tint. We'll see how that goes. I've never really done it before, so hopefully it goes well. Okay, so here we are at the workbench. I've given this a really good clean, the workbench that is. I've cleaned it up really nicely and laid some paper down, so it's absolutely immaculate, and there's as little dust particles as I can possibly get. So I'm going to give the window one final wipe down. I'm going to put on some gloves to do that. I don't want any fingerprints on there, so I'm going to get the gloves on, wipe this down with some soapy water, wash it off, make sure that there's no imperfections, and then I'll spray it with soapy water and lay the window tint on. So it sounds easy, it looks easy, but I know it's not going to be easy. So wish me luck and we'll get going. So here is our first tinted window. Now if I lift that up, you can see it is super dark. Now that's perfect, exactly what I wanted, because obviously I want it slightly protected from the heat. That was the main thing. I wanted a little bit of heat protection because when I'm in the back it's going to be absolutely baking, as Portugal's pretty hot, and I also think it looks much better being black, and it gives me a little bit extra sense of security, even though it probably doesn't at all. But I feel like people won't be staring in quite as much. But I will have, obviously, curtain type things put up against the window if I'm sleeping in it. But this is just a nice little touch, I find. So, that concludes this week's video. Went pretty smooth, if you ask me. The spoiler I thought I was going to have trouble with, but it actually ended up okay. That Patex stuff really saved the day. But next week, I'm going to be getting the side windows installed and testing those little brackets that I made for the windows. Hopefully that goes well. If not, you know, it might have to be another video on top of that one. But I'm sure I'll get it finished next week, and then after that I'll do a walk around video when it's on the truck. So please stay tuned, like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.